Welcome back to Talladega Superspeedway. Field still rolling around this 2.66 mile superspeedway under caution. This one for the fourth caution of the day, and it was one of our championship contenders involved, the 99 of Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
You know, Hoosier Tire sponsors the Super Speedway Challenge. All the Super Speedway races throughout the course of the year, they have a point system. There's our leader right there, and this is the car owner that actually leads this. Eddie Sharp racing right there with Scott Speed leads this, and essentially he has locked this championship up. We saw what happened to Ricky Stenhouse Jr. We saw what happened earlier to Ken Butler III, which is also an Eddie Sharp car. So essentially Scott Speed, Eddie Sharp has clinched the Hoosier Tire Super Speedway Challenge.
That's a good little bonus they put up too.
Yeah, a lot of money, 75 grand total.
Yep.
Green flag back in the air. This will be lap number 66 that we are on. We've completed 65. Still out front, John Jackson. Now too wide, a little bumping going on there. That's Bobby Gerhart that got into the side of one of the cars. Now he's moving up the racetrack.
That's Scott Speed right there he's racing with right now in the Red Bull car.
There may have been some contact between Bobby Gerhart and Scott Speed on this restart, and for some reason Gerhart just kept coming down the racetrack.
He's coming. Again, there's Patrick Shelter pushing Tom Hessert. There they are side by side against Scott Speed, the two car on the inside, Bobby Gerhart, the Lucas Oil Chevrolet on the outside. Here comes Tom Hessert. He's going to follow Scott Speed on the inside. We haven't seen the outside really work very well, Kenny.
No, and it's definitely not going to work by yourself. But that's always been one of our best speedway cars in the ARCA RE series, so we'll see what happens, but I don't think it'll win out.
They're awfully close right there. And let's go back just a lap or so ago. Watch right of your screen. There's Scott Speed on the inside. Bobby Gerhart moves over. They actually touch once, twice. You see the smoke coming from the tires, and then Bobby's coming down again. He pushes Scott down below the yellow line and then doesn't want to give him any room whatsoever. Looks like Bobby Gerhart just touched again. It looked like it might have been Tom Hessert that time he touched with.
He would like to get back in line. There's not quite room right now.
So Bobby Gerhart continues to try to force his way down on the bottom line.
He's got Patrick Shelter right now on the inside of him. He's right behind Tom Hessert. There's room for Bobby Gerhart if he wants to get down right now.
Better do it quick. Now there's not.
No room anymore. The 44, Frank Kimmel, closes that door on him.
So Bobby Gerhart continues to be shuffled back. We look at Frank Kimmel currently running 10th.
He actually passed Bobby Gerhart, so now he has moved up to the 9th position. Looks like Jeremy Clements, that 3 car right behind Frank Kimmel.
Cars moving all the way down on the apron, trying to avoid any type of contact.
Looks like the 48 car, Ben Stansel. Remember, he's had some damage from an earlier incident. 3 wide, Justin Allgaier on the outside, Max Dumouriez in the middle, Ben Stansel, the 48 on the inside.
3 wide racing at Talladega.
Eddie Mercer's going to jump up. Oh,
Scott Speed! It's Scott Speed, your point leader, with problems. Let's see if he can avoid any more damage.
Got a couple cars turned around there. There's yet another one turning around. That's the 18 of Chrissy Wallace. That looks like Ben Stansel in that TRG number 48.
And Scott Speed's issues could very well have come from that contact that he had with Bobby Gerhart.
Very much. When you're wrestling with these cars and bouncing them off each other, it'll cut those rubber tires real easy. Now he's got, we see him rolling and make it back down the pit road, but we got serious issues here.
Hey guys, this changes everything now. Absolutely changes everything. Remember, we were talking about giving this championship to Scott Speed. Right now,
we just brought in a guy by the name of Frank Kimmel into this championship hunt once again. Ray.
Rick, I just wanted to let you know I was standing by down here with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and we were getting ready to do the dejection interview. You're out for the day, and a crew member ran over and said, "We want you in the car. Get to the car. We're getting it fixed. We're getting it ready to get back in the race." Ricky is now getting his Hans and his helmet. We're on our way over there as quickly to give you a report as we can, but it looks like he's going to get back in the 99, get back in this race possibly. and they did see what happened to the 2 car at Scott Speed. I don't think that was their inspiration here, but I think they found the damage on this 99 is not as bad as they thought.
You know, Ray, I was talking to Kenny during the break, and I wasn't sure why Ricky didn't drive that car back around, because it didn't look like it had enough damage to keep them from driving back around to the garage area. He is definitely going to get in this Aflac Ford right here. And again, Scott Speed with his problem, that 165-point lead he had just completely went away. Right now, Ricky Stenhouse is shown to be the only car not on the lead lap. So if Scott Speed falls out of the race right now, he will only beat Ricky Stenhouse Jr. by 1 position unless Ricky gets back on the racetrack. But it appears as though Scott Speed's damage is not too severe to keep him from getting back on the racetrack.
Now, looks like they're going behind the wall, though, because they're moving the pit cart. So whatever they're going to fix, they feel they have to fix it in the garage area, and this is going to be big. Oh, we saw those drawers come out. Thought that whole thing might tip over.
Wow. That's a lot of weight that just came out onto the left side of that cart.
It'd take a tow truck to get that toolbox turned over.
Now, the front end of this car has been affected severely. I mean, we see that shifted over to the left quite a bit.
The problem is I see fluid coming from underneath that car, Kenny, when it made that turn. So that means he's either busted an oil cooler, maybe busted the fuel pump off the motor or something like that.
Yeah, his best scenario would probably be an oil cooler that they could bypass. If it's a radiator, it's got to be fixed. Or, as we see in Justin Allgaier's position, at least pit every lap. You know?
See if we can take a look back at what happened. Scott's running there in about the 5th position, and then just tire goes around. Same thing happened.
Right rear.
You know, 3 or 4 times before. The right rear tire goes down. See, all these guys are trying to take evasive action. Then there's somebody goes through the grass. That's Ben Stansel going through the grass, and then looked like maybe somebody ran in the back. Maybe Max Dumouriez ran in the back of Chrissy Wallace, turned her around in the aftermath. Watch the very top of your screen right there. You see that Red Bull car. The right rear tire goes right there, right in the tri-oval. Around he goes. Tom Hesser does a nice job getting around the outside, as well as Patrick Sheltra.
And then he still doesn't have the damage to the front end of that car until
he might have made a little bit of contact with the outside wall. This is Frank Kimmel's onboard right here. That's Patrick Sheltra right in front of you. See the debris from the flat tire. Frank barely gets by on the outside.
Once again, though, we've just seen heads-up driving by the people behind the accident.
It's got to be Matt Carter right here. He's trying to find a place to go. There you see the dirt, trying to avoid Dexter Bean. There's cars spinning in front of him. He moves to the outside. Gives everybody else a little bit of a room out against the outside wall. He did not force that car into the outside wall. Good heads-up driving by Matt Carter.
They're cutting the front end of this race car off.
You see the water pouring underneath that car right there, Rick.
Yeah, the radiator, obviously severe damage to it. They're going to cut the front end off. They'll see if they've got, normally in this situation, you'd bring an entire front end that you could put right back on the race car.
That front end will have the bumper, the nose piece, the radiator, everything mounted, and it'll just clamp onto the frame.
Guys, you know we were talking about the points. Look at the points as of now here.
As they run on the track, which obviously Scott Speed is off the racetrack. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. is off the racetrack. Frank Kimmel is on the racetrack.
Both of these guys trying to get back on the racetrack. What we thought was going to be a cakewalk for Scott Speed when he got to Toledo. All of a sudden, this is exactly how they started the weekend. Scott Speed with a 65-point lead over Ricky Stenhouse. Ricky got 5 points by qualifying third. He closed it up to 60 at the start of the race. You see crew guys running all over here trying to get parts and pieces to get back on these 2 cars. It's gonna be a baton toss here. He's gonna give it to somebody else.
Hand it off and continue going. Grab another part, get back to work.
Look at Frank Kimmel right there. Frank's running 8th right now. He's only 140 points behind. Frank could gain a few more positions. He could close to maybe only about 100 to 125 points behind and have a shot at championship number 10, Kenny, when he gets to Toledo.
And ARCA short track, we've seen all kinds of things happen, so you just don't know.
You're going to have a bird's eye view of that ARCA RE/MAX race at Toledo, aren't you?
We're going to take the little Federated Auto Parts car there and go play with them Sunday after the Charlotte race. Yes, we are.
What an amazing turn of events has taken place in just the last few laps. Frank Kimmel looking for his 10th championship, has just been brought back in. The right rear tire goes on Scott Speed's car.